Hi there. I thought I'd produce this video for you because although we've exchanged emails, we still haven't got together to write your will, and I'm not really sure why. I'd like to arrange a meeting with you as soon as possible so I can protect you, your family, and your assets. Believe me, if you've seen the stress, the cost, and the wasted time of those left behind when someone passes who hasn't written a will, I'm sure you'll get yours done straight away. Is it because you don't think you've got enough time? Well, that's really not true. Well, it takes literally just a couple of hours of your time, and that's all. I doubt any of us have a problem in finding a couple of hours in our busy lives for something this important. So what other problems might you be facing? Perhaps the thought of your own mortality is an issue. Maybe you think the assets you own will go to the right people anyway, and how wrong could you be? Maybe you just don't think you've got enough to justify writing a will, or you're too young. Whatever the reasons, not having a will makes no sense to anyone of any age. And here's the legacy that you'll leave behind if you die intestate, and that means dying without having made a will. So what is the legacy you're likely to leave behind? Let me tell you what can happen if you don't write a will, and what people will think about you by not having done so. It's a common misconception that if a couple live together, they will gain certain rights by being, in quotes, a common law wife or a common law husband. But there's no basis in English law for this. There's no such thing as a common law wife or husband. Things get even more complicated if they own a property together, and worse still, if the property belongs to one party only in that relationship. But if you're married, there's still a common misconception that your spouse will inherit everything, and that's simply not the case. She'll get a maximum of £250,000 and half of everything else. And what is £250,000 going to buy in the current day and age of property prices? So the children get the other half of the residue after the spouse has had their first £250,000. Interesting. So what would happen then if the children decided that they wanted their share there and then? It would mean having to look probably at selling the family home in order for them to have what is legally theirs. Believe me, it's an absolute nightmare to try and untangle the affairs of someone who's died without making a will. Not least of which are people who will be fighting over things that they think they were promised. But you've got to find the beneficiaries, the people that are entitled to benefit from the estate. These could be all over the place in different countries maybe. You've got to locate them. Nothing is straightforward. It's a really difficult process, and 10 times more time consuming than if a will had been made. Social services have a duty of care in these situations and will immediately place vulnerable children with people who can take care of them. This could easily mean children may have to be separated, which would add even more stress to children who are already in a situation that perhaps they cannot understand. Just as important, they could be placed with people who have completely different values to you. In a will, you can specify who will be the guardians of your children. You have that choice, not social services. In a will, there are plenty of opportunities to mitigate inheritance tax. You can use things called trusts. You can actually start to look at ways in which you can give away some of your assets in your lifetime. And then obviously your estate is of a lower value and you will pay less inheritance tax. At the moment, inheritance tax is 40% above any allowance which you're entitled to. Without a will, your estate is distributed according to the law. You have no choice as to what happens. So if you have friends you'd like to leave a particular item to, or leave them some money for example, you can't do that because the laws of intestacy, the laws which kick in if you don't have a will take over automatically. And in a worst case scenario, everything will go to the state. Last year, the amount of money going to the Treasury nearly doubled to £33.5 million from the estates of people who died intestate. So I don't apologise if you feel I'm being too much in your face, but I need to do something to kick-start you into taking writing your will more seriously. We need to meet face to face, and I'm hoping this video will spur you into action. I say this all the time, it's never too early to write your will, it certainly can be too late. The truth of the matter is that none of us know when our time is up, but when it is, there's certainly no way of writing your will from the grave. I promised you a gift if you were to listen to the entire video, and what I want to do is to offer you a free telephone consultation on what to consider when writing your will. So if you phone me on 07958 221460, let's discuss what matters to you most and how I can help. So contact me. I'm Roger Borden at City and Country Financial Services. You can email me at roger.borden@ccfs.london, or if you prefer, phone me, leave me a message or text me on 07958 221460. And if you'd like a free consultation, I would be delighted to help. Just let me know how I can.